We're underway. Squib kick. James Joseph chases it out of bounds, and there's the flag. Reggie Slack in his junior year will open at quarterback for Auburn. He will be joined by Vincent Harris and James Joseph, who had 83 yards on 2 carries a week ago. The receivers, Alexander Wright. Laurier Tillman will not suit up today. He's been bothered by a hamstring. He's not in uniform. Freddie Wagand is the other wide receiver, and the tight end is Walter Reeves. The tight end for Auburn, or rather the center for Auburn, John Hudson, gets his first start today. He's been injured the first 2 games. He is flanked by Stacy Dunn and Rodney Garner, who graded 100% last week in the win over Kansas. The tackles are Jim Thompson, perhaps the best in the line, and Rob Selby, a sophomore. Now let's try the kickoff again, this time from the 30.
And Vern, this Auburn offense has been one that's developed from a running team 2 years ago, pretty much to a passing team.
McCallum, this time right down the middle, right at the 4. Wedge in front. Down at the 35-yard line. Tackle made by Sean Walker. A 32-yard return to open the game. Defensively for Tennessee, and they have had problems. Martin Williams at nose tackle. He's flanked by Charles McCray and the best lineman, Marion Hobby. The outside linebackers, Keith DeLong, an all-conference selection. Shazon Bradley, a true freshman. And Brian Kimbrough and Tracy Hayworth on the outside. Secondary in a moment, 1st and 10. This is Joseph in motion. James Joseph, number 10, and Slack will throw on 1st down. Into the flat, 1 hopper, intended for Freddie Wagand. The secondary for Tennessee, Preston Warner, who has 2 interceptions in the young season. Mark Fletcher starts on the right side. And the safeties are Chris Treese, number 38, and Tony Nelson, a 5th-year senior, who gets his first start today as Johnny Majors tries to find the puzzle.
If this Tennessee defense is going to do the job today, they're just going to have to do a much better job of tackling. The inside linebackers are key.
Auburn goes with 3 wide receivers. Wagand in the slot to the left. The backs are in the eye as Slack looks over the Tennessee defense. Toss right side, James Joseph. Met and driven down at the 36. Tackle made by Keith DeLong, number 33. One of only 3 seniors starting on the team.
And this is what we talked about at the top of the show. And when you think of old Tennessee defense, they got a lot of jerseys around the ball. They haven't done that this year. But here in the first series, we see 4 or 5 Tennessee jerseys around the ball. That's what it's going to take to win today.
Very young Tennessee defense. As we said, 3 seniors, and the 3rd senior is Tony Nelson, who is getting his first start. They had started only 2 in the first 2 games. A 4 wide receiver set now for Auburn on 3rd and 9. 4-man rush for the Volunteers. Deep pass caught. Wagand 1st down at the 32. Freddie Wagand, the 5th-year senior with the sure hands.
When you put 4 wide receivers in the game and you can give your quarterback protection and time to throw, you really have a chance for a big play. Freddie Wagand, number 14, is going to line up in the slot. But watch the protection here. That's the key to any passing attack. It's a short drop so that you don't have to worry about the slot man. Wagand right here is going to run right down the center of the defense and beat what is really a linebacker. Nice touch by Reggie Slack.
That's a 32-yard gain on 3rd and 9. 1st down, Auburn. Play fake, and Slack looks left. Goes over the middle deep. Incomplete. Intended for Alexander Wright. The junior from Albany, Georgia, and Tony Nelson was defending, number 6.
One of the nice things we've seen here by the Auburn passing attack in the first drive, they've thrown 1 pass to the outside, 1 pass over the middle, and that time they try to hit right on a little inside cut at about a 20 yards. So they're throwing the ball inside and outside.
2nd down and 10. Auburn, as you look at other scores from around the country on college football on a Saturday in September. 2nd down, 10. No score, opening moments of the ball game. 13:34 to go. Draw play. James Joseph. Well, last week he had 2 runs for 83 yards. Today he's got 2 for no yards. Tackle made by Keith DeLong again, Pat.
And that's DeLong's 2nd stop, and that's what it's going to take. DeLong on defense for Tennessee is going to have a very big day. He reads the offensive guard, sees it as a draw, steps in the hole, makes the play.
As we said, Keith, one of 3 seniors starting today. Dime defense comes in defensively now on 3rd and 12. 4 wide receiver set again. Weigand in the slot left. Slack with a 5-step drop. Very little pressure, but good defensive coverage allows the sack to be made by Charles McRae. That is only the 2nd sack, Pat, in 4 games for Tennessee.
And Tennessee needs this kind of pressure on the quarterback. He winds up at left tackle, number 70. Does a nice job against Thompson there, then goes around him and makes the play. That's Selby, number 78, he made the play around. But McRae grabbed him, threw him away, and got to the quarterback.
Brian Shulman, who once played for Tennessee, is the punter, and it goes into the end zone. It comes back to the 20. One big play, that of 32 yards, but the Volunteer defense held when it counted inside the 35. No score at all. First down, Tennessee, first offensive set. Jeff Francis fakes the draw, rolls out to his right, puts it up in the flat, caught, and that's a first down at the 32-yard line. Let's beat the Tennessee offense. That was John Rollins, the fullback, with the catch. Francis is the quarterback, the senior. Rollins is a senior at fullback, joined by sophomore Reggie Cobb. The receivers are Thomas Woods and Terrence Cleveland. Neither one breaks 5'10". Nate Middlebrooks is the tight end. And we'll get the rest of the offensive line after this first down play for Tennessee. Backs in the eye. This time they run the draw. And Reggie Cobb is nailed. Tackle made by Quentin Riggins, the leading tackler, number 41. Now let's meet the
number 41 right there in the middle of your screen. Again, he reads the job, sifts through the traffic. That's what an inside linebacker has to do. Sift through that the traffic, and then he makes a real nice play.
Riggins, the leading tackler, with 19 in 2 games. He's only 5'11", 210. Second down and 9. Backs in the eye again. Double tight end set for the Volunteers. That's Cobb in motion wide to the right. Francis looks right. Flag is down at the 39-yard line. If the play stands, it is good for a first down. Reggie Cobb with the catch. And the tackle made by Steve Brown, number 38. Now let's check the infraction. The referee today is Rom Gilbert. South Carolina rolling over Georgia early.
That surprises me. Todd Ellis had a big game so far.
That's an important SEC game you just saw.
Offside! Defense! Lined up in the neutral zone. Penalty decline.
Kentucky winning over Kent State. And Syracuse with an early lead over Virginia Tech. 2 first downs back-to-back. This is the first time since the first game against Georgia that Tennessee has not started offensively at its own 1-yard line. Pass back, Francis, not much pressure, man is open, caught at the 40-yard line. The catch made by Thomas Woods, that's his 15th of the year, and the offensive line is doing a good job early on. Ray Robinson at center. The guards, Patrick Lenore gets his first start 2 weeks ago. He was a defensive lineman. Eric Still at the other guard. The tackles are Kevin Simons and Phil Stewart. And Tennessee is moving 1st and 10 at the Auburn 41. Middlebrooks, the tight end, is tight to the right side. And off to John Rollins, the fullback, the senior from Knoxville. And Smokey Hodge makes the tackle. Let's take a look at this Auburn defensive line. It's a good one. Benji Rowland at the nose tackle. Tracy Rocker, the All-American, and Ron Stallworth, the other tackle. The inside backers, Quentin Riggins and Steve Brown. On the outside, Alvin Mitchell and Brian Smith. And the defensive secondary for Auburn we'll get to in just a moment. Second down and 7. Francis settles short. Reggie Cobb's second catch. And that's a first down at the 30-yard line. Quentin Riggins makes the tackle. The Auburn secondary. And they've got a man back today who's been out most of the year. Carlo Cheatham gets his first start. He is a dandy. John Wiley at right corner. And the safeties are Greg Staples and Shan Morris.
When I talked to Jeff Francis, he said he has to be physical. The whole team does, but even the quarterback. That means the way he carries himself, scrambling for a first down, dumping the ball off when he has to.
And Jeff Francis didn't like the alignment, either defensively or offensively, so he calls timeout. Auburn has not been scored upon in the first half so far this year. A scoreless ball game here with 10:25 to go first quarter. But Tennessee's Jeff Francis has hit 4 of 4 to open the ball game. And the Volunteers have a 1st and 10 just inside the Auburn 30. And the Tigers have not been scored upon in the first half this season. They've given up only a total of 17 points. High formation and the draw play. Reggie Cobb, big hole and another huge gain down to the 19. That's another Tennessee first down with Shan Morris making the tackle.
What happens here, the Tennessee front really controls the nose man, and that gives the tailback a lot of different options to run the ball when he's in the I formation. If you can control the nose, and that time Benji Rowland really ran around the play, that opens up a huge hole for Reggie Cobb.
Cobb, of course, with a huge year a year ago as a freshman when he erupted in the kickoff classic for more than 100 yards. There's the measurement and another Tennessee first down. Reggie Cobb had 182 yards in the second game against Duke, but was held to 52 last week. They look impressive.
Very impressive. And they're mixing it up. They're spreading the defense. They're dumping the ball to the back line in motion. They're throwing the ball downfield, and then they pitch it to Reggie Cobb.
5th first down in the drive that began at the 20. Draw play again. This time they stop it, but a flag is down on the far side of the field. That was Cobb.
Stallworth throwing his own stop. No gain.
And we'll see against whom the infraction is called.
Offside! Defense lined up in a neutral zone.
Johnny Majors must be pleased early on.
That's twice the defense from Auburn is lined up in the neutral zone. But if you're a Tennessee fan, this is what you want to see. Early in the ball game, this is what Tennessee needs to have some confidence. You can't be thinking about a lot of touchdowns, but just get that next first down. Keep the chains moving.
First down and 5. Both wide receivers wide to the wide side of the field. Francis looks that direction, settles in the flat. Nice catch by Reggie Cobb. Jeff Francis, of course, is a 5th-year senior. We asked him what it would take for Tennessee to win today.
I think the biggest thing to, always beating Auburn, as we know, is I think, first of all, not to turn the ball over. And the second thing is to be physical with them. The only success we've had in the last few years with Auburn is when we've been physical with them. And we know they're a physical team, and, just try to match their intimidating style.
Off camera, Jeff said, they'll hit you in the mouth. We got to hit them in the mouth. Here's the dive play. Up the middle, trying for the first down. Johnny Majors looks on. I want to ask Pat, what does he mean by a quarterback being physical? How can that happen?
I thought that was interesting because he said, hey, I as a quarterback, I have to be physical here today. And that means, again, the way I carry myself, present myself in the huddle on third downs. If nothing's there, I got to scramble, pick up a first down, lead this team, get him in the right audibles. That's how I have to be physical.
They will bring the chain out to see if they got the first down. And it's going to be short. So officially 3rd and 1.
3rd and 1.
Pat Dye told us yesterday he has a farm some distance outside of Auburn. He always spends Friday morning at the farm. Said yesterday he was so nervous about this game he couldn't enjoy the day, and he never got out of the barn.
Well, he was concerned about the history of this game. Even though Auburn's been favored over the years, Tennessee seems to have their number. And that 0-3 team he thought is a very dangerous team to play.
3rd and 1. No score. 8:35 to go first quarter in Auburn, Alabama. That's close. John Rollins, the senior fullback, who doesn't get that many carries, the converted tight end.
They like to give the ball to the fullback once every lunar eclipse.
But Rollins got enough. There's an injured player for Tennessee down at the 10-yard line. That's Ray Robinson, who has been injured quite a bit in his career. They wanted to get 20 plays out of Ray Robinson at center today, and they expect that John Fisher will play quite a bit in that spot. Time is out on the field. We'll be back to see center, already the victim of 2 knee surgeries, major knee surgeries, and that is an apparent knee surgery to his right knee. He was assisted from the field. We'll get an update from Pat O'Brien shortly. Pat, they wanted him only for 20 plays, and that has relevance to the knee injuries.
Well, because of those 2 major knee surgeries, that's all they want, because he's going to come out and play his heart out for those 20 plays.
Freshman redshirt John Fisher, number 51, takes his spot. First and goal, Tennessee. Toss left, Reggie Cobb has to cut back inside because the pursuit was terrific. And Ron Stallworth made the tackle.
Here's where it gets tough for an offensive team that likes to throw the football. When you have to mash the ball down inside the 15-yard line to score. If your offensive linemen are used to pass blocking, it's tough to get off the line of scrimmage to make the play to mash the ball into the end zone.
Second down and goal. Middlebrooks, the tight end, lines up tight to the right. Francis draw play. Reggie Cobb, no. Riggins on top, but down low, Tracy Rocker, who played only 7 defensive plays against Kansas last week, the All-American.
Tracy Rocker plays his position of defensive tackle, as well as Tommy Hodson plays his position of quarterback at LSU, or Bobby Humphrey plays his position of running back at Alabama. He is one of the best in college football. Tremendous strength and gets off the ball very quickly.
3 wide receivers set now. Riggs and Cleveland go to the right. Anthony Harper comes into the left side. And Francis might be changing the play. Quarterback draw. Didn't work. Ron Stallworth and Benji Rowland read it. It'll be 4th down.
Here's where the front 3 from Auburn really give you some problems. Number 96, Benji Rowland, right in the middle of your screen. Watch how quick he gets off the ball. Just does the little swim technique. The center has no chance, and he's quick enough, even at 270 pounds, to jump around and tackle the quarterback on the draw.
There is also another player down. Phil Stewart for Tennessee, and this is Steve Brown, who had a serious thigh bruise last week. That's Phil Stewart, the offensive tackle for Tennessee.
Well, and that's something that the coaches hate to see, certainly, of course, for Stewart, but in the offensive line, they are so thin.
Number 63, Phil Stewart.
We're going to get a look at the top left of your screen. Number 63 is Phil Stewart. He's on Rocker, number 74, plants the leg, and then the body falls in. That's how most injuries, I think, occur, right there. One of his own, it's Francis who actually fell into him, the quarterback.
Stewart still down at the 8. Steve Brown, in the meantime, has gotten up. Phil Stewart, senior tackle from Johnson City, Tennessee. And if he's unable to continue, he would be the 2nd offensive lineman lost to the Volunteers in this drive.
He's not one of those guys that's terribly gifted, but plays hard every down.
It'll be 4th down now for Tennessee, and Chip McCallum comes on as that depleted offensive line is further injured as Stewart goes out. McCallum for the season is 2 of 6. He missed 3 in one game, that against Duke. This will be 24 yards. It's good. And the Tennessee Volunteers, 0 and 3, make the first mark this afternoon. A finely executed drive as McCallum's field goal gives them a 3-0 lead, and the first point scored against Auburn in the first half this season.
It was a nice drive, well sequenced of plays. They threw the ball outside, inside, and they had a little power football.
College football for you today, and a big day of NFL football coming up tomorrow. It's a doubleheader on CBS, and in the first game, after we begin with the NFL today, most of you will see Green Bay against Chicago. That'll be seen in the major part of the country, and Mike Ditka looks on. Atlanta will be at Dallas tomorrow. Some of you will see that game. And also Philadelphia against Minnesota. Tampa Bay visits New Orleans. That's the early venue. And then the second game, most of you will watch the undefeated Los Angeles Rams go into New Jersey to take on the New York Giants. Also, the 49ers visit Seattle. And the Washington Redskins, with Mark Rippon as the starting quarterback, will be at Phoenix. It all begins with the NFL today.
I'm looking forward to watching that Ram-Giant game. The Rams are off to a great start. Jimmy Everett's playing well. Kevin Green, who played here at Auburn, has 7 sacks for the Rams this year. That defense has really made a difference for the Rams.
Giants got a big win last week when they were the recipients of a safety, a phantom safety at Texas Stadium, and they won 12-10. MIT leads Stonehill 9-7. First time MIT has played football in 87 years. Alexander Wright for Auburn. Terrific special teams play by the Volunteers. And Floyd Miley, number 22, leads the way. That's a 13-yard return.
Alexander Wright looked like a track man trying to play football. He is a track man with tremendous speeds. He's trying to develop his football skills, but this is tremendous coverage by the Volunteers. And again, this is what it's going to have to happen. Defensive swarming, special teams are going to have to do it, and the offense has to be physical.
Cincinnati and Miami of Ohio in the 100th meeting. By the way, Brent Musburger's son is a student at Miami, and Brent is taking the day off and is visiting that game. He'll be at the NFL Today studios tomorrow. There's the toss around the left side. Vincent Harris, the fullback, and he's out to the 24. Tackle is made by Cedric Klein, number 30. Right now, let's go down to Pat O'Brien.
Down on the Tennessee sideline, where the doctors are having a busy afternoon early. Robinson here, it's his right knee, Vern and Pat, and Ray Robinson has it iced up now. He does not know if he'll be back in. Right behind him here, Stewart, number 63. His right knee also is injured. He seems to be injured the worst of the two. We'll keep you posted. Back upstairs.
All right, Pat, second down and short. They test the middle. Vincent Harris, the junior from Birmingham. And that should be enough to move the chain. Reggie Slack out of Milton, Florida. High school team didn't pass much. He told Pat and me he averaged about 6 passes a game, so he was not recruited as a thrower.
He was recruited basically as an athlete. Wasn't sure whether he was going to play defensive back, wide receiver, or quarterback. But Pat Sullivan, the quarterback coach, when he saw him throw his first pass when he got here on campus, he knew he had a diamond in the rough. He just had to develop his fundamentals, and now I think he is very fundamentally sound.
Slack, a junior, tossed to the left side. James Joseph cracks through left tackle out to the 30-yard line. That's a pickup of 4. Marion Hobby makes the tackle. This is a high-powered Auburn offense, currently ranked 5th in the country with a 530-yard per game average.
And what I like about it is balanced. About half of that comes from the pass and the other half with the run.
They could have named their total last week against Kansas. They had 680 yards in that game.
Usually means a win.
It did. Second down and 6. 3-0 Tennessee. 4:40 to go, first quarter. They'll test the left side again with Joseph. Flag is down. That's the 3rd flag in the first quarter.
We have seen Auburn try to run so far into the short side of the field, and they're doing that because Tennessee really overloads the wide side of the field. In college football, because the hashes are close to the boundaries, most college teams defend the field, and so Auburn's trying to run away from the strength and into the boundary.
Here's the call from Ron Gilbert.
Holding! Offense!
Look at the Auburn linemen. They're all in the up stance on this running play. Ordinarily, that's a passing stance, but this time they ran out of that formation, which is a little unusual.
Second down and 16. The Tigers go with 3 wide receivers. Slack, play fake. A modest one. Across the middle, caught. That's Walter Reeves, the tight end, and the tackle from Keith DeLong, who's been active on defense. Right now, let's go back to our New York studios. Here's Jim Nance. Defense in on 3rd and 11. Slack back, 4-man rush. 3-man rush, really. Deep pass caught. Alexander Wright. He's got 4.2 speed. They'll never catch it. Sure. 75 yards on 3rd and 11. Alexander Wright with 4.3 speed. But he was chased and had to put it into second when he got down near the 10. Win Lyle with the extra point. It's up. It's good. And just like that, take a look at a 75-yard toss.
Alexander Wright is really not a natural receiver. He is a track man, but he's getting more and more comfortable. What I liked about him, he really squared this route off, and he caught the ball with his hands. And anytime you get the ball to a receiver who is that fast on the move, you have a chance for touchdowns.
Kelly Days chased him. We look at it from another angle.
And terrific pass protection, really set up the play. Watch Reggie Slack, no wasted motion. The ball's up high. He leads the receiver right, catches it with the hands, picks up a nice block, and that's a great play, getting the ball to the receiver on the move.
Alexander Wright is the young man who is playing in place of Lawyer Tillman today. Tillman out with a hamstring.
Top of the screen, you're going to see Wright come down, and watch how square he is coming across the middle of the field, and he is beautifully led by Slack. A lot of receivers, when they run this route, drift off into center field and get the ball intercepted, but he comes right down the line and does a great job with his hands catching the ball.
Kentucky 31, Kent State 7. Playing in the fourth.
That's 75 yards on the pass and run, and Auburn is back on top 7-3 with 3:34 to go. First quarter. That awakened this crowd. Alexander Wright from Albany, Georgia. 6 foot, 185 pounds. And that is his second touchdown of the season. Anthony Morgan is the deep man for Tennessee. He can run. Up to the 41-yard line after the short kickoff. A 28-yard return for Morgan.
A challenge here for this Tennessee offense, a team that is 0-3. They've been off to a good start, is again, just start thinking about first downs. Keep moving those chains. Don't worry about the score right now. Get some confidence up, move the chains, and pick up first downs.
If you just joined us, the Volunteers on their first offensive series lost 2 starters, Robinson and Stewart. Play fake, Francis, good protection. Nice pass, Thomas Woods. First down at the 40. That's Woods' second catch today, his 16th of the year.
Well, Jeff Francis has done a nice job has taken a little step here and there back in the pocket. Good protection here, but he feels a little bit of pressure, and then he just steps up, so Rocker doesn't have a chance. See the way he steps up there? He gets away from the rush, away from Tracy Rocker, and that's one of those subtle things a quarterback can do to help his football team and help his offensive line.
Thomas Woods with a catch, a gain of 19, first down at the 41. Francis, 6 of 6. Fumble. Got it back, no gain.
No gain on the play.
Tennessee has lost only 3 fumbles in the 3 games in 1 quarter they played. But they've made critical fumble mistakes.
Just lost the handle here on the snap from center. It looked like it was going to be a play-action fake, and sometimes you're so concerned about the play-action fake, you don't stay underneath the center long enough to get the ball.
Woods and Cleveland both come to the near side, the tiny wide receivers, 5'8" and 5'9" respectively. Francis back, looks across the middle, man wide open. Terrence Cleveland with the catch. First down at the 35. The tackle by Alvin Mitchell, number 48. A gain of 15. Pat, they use a lot of the 3 wide receiver offense.
And they use the 3 wide receiver set for a couple of reasons. As you can see, the 3 guys right here, they're all wide receivers, 1, 2, and 3. First of all, they spread the defense, and see how many defenders it takes to defend them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that makes for a soft front. They could run the ball inside or throw the ball outside.
The toss, right side. This is Keith Davis, the senior, number 28. And he's down to the 20-yard line. The tackle made by Carlo Cheatham, number 35. Davis on in place of Reggie Cobb. Keith Davis is a freshman, rushed for in excess of 600 yards and thought he had a potential All-American career at Tennessee, but the first play of his sophomore season, serious knee injury, and then when he came back, this kid Cobb took his place, and he's been a backup since. But a good one. Jeff Francis now 7 of 7 for 83 yards, 2nd and 3. They try the fullback. No. Francis on the keeper. What a great fake.
And that's being physical. That's what Jeff Francis was talking about, as he has to scramble every now and then to pick up 3 or 4 yards. He doesn't need a long touchdown run. He needs to be physical on these kind of runs. Now, Auburn wants him to catch the ball or run the ball. He fakes the pitch and does a nice job of cutting it up in there. Doesn't look quite confident running that ball up in the middle of that defense, though, does he?
Wonderful job by John Rollins carrying out the Francis fake. And it's 1st and 10 just outside the 10. See the perfect day Francis has had throwing the ball so far. Davis in motion out of the backfield. 4-man rush by Auburn. Francis caught and dropped. Craig Ogletree, number 94, who's getting his first action of the year.
The coaches told me that if Ogletree can stay healthy this year, he is really going to make a big difference. Watch him from the right side of the screen. He's going to come in and make a big play on the quarterback. The outside linebacker, who's uncovered, runs right over Rollins. It's kind of a mismatch in size, and when you have a quarterback taking a short drop, that can happen.
Final 20 seconds, first quarter. 7-3 Auburn. 2nd down and 15. This time they try the dive play for John Rollins. That doesn't get much. And that should be the final play of the quarter.
Boy, very surprising call on 2nd and long. You don't give the fullback plunge up the middle.
That's the end of the first quarter with our score. Auburn 7, Tennessee 3. College football on CBS Sports returns after this at Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn, Alabama, as the Auburn Tigers lead the Volunteers 7-3. Thus far, in case you just joined us, let's bring you up to date. Jeff Francis, the Volunteer quarterback, a perfect 7 of 7 for 84 yards. The Auburn touchdown came on a 75-yard Reggie Slack to Alexander Wright pass. And the total yards quite even. Auburn 121, Tennessee 116. Right now, 3rd and 12 from the 13. 2 wide receivers, wide left. Cobb and Davis both in the backfield. Reggie Cobb is still there. Francis, screen pass left. Cobb has it, but he doesn't have any help, and he is down at the 8-yard line. Bobbled the ball, and the convoy disappeared.
And a surprising call. I don't think a screen pass is a very good call inside the 20, because the defensive backs and linebackers don't drop back very far. It's hard to pick up 12 yards on a screen inside the 20.
That will bring on Chip McCallum as Francis tries to explain to Johnny Majors what went wrong with that play. And McCallum tries for his 2nd of the ball game. First good from 24. It's up. It's no good. He's now 3 of 7 for the year. That has not been a Tennessee strong point. And that'll puncture the euphoria on the Volunteer bench for a while.
But just when they needed a lift, that happens.
The snap from Nick Zucchino was good. The hold from Lee England was good. The kick wasn't.
So much of kicking, it's like quarterbacking. So much of it, I think, is just confidence. And when you've missed a couple like McCallum has, I think you need to hit a few in a row before you really feel that confidence.
After the unsuccessful kick, Auburn gets it back for the 3rd time in the ballgame. On their opening series, they had one big play of 32 yards. But Tennessee held. Then on the 2nd series, 75-yard toss. Reggie Slack to Alexander Wright. That's Vincent Harris, number 21, the fullback. Joseph lines up in a wing to the right on 1st down. Motion on the left side of the offensive line, and that'll cost Auburn 5 yards. That's unexpected. All of these motion penalties and lining up in the neutral zone for the Tigers.
Usually Pat Dye's teams are incredibly disciplined. Very sound coach, Pat Dye. Believes you win the game in the offensive and defensive lines. It's kind of amazing when you go to Auburn and you want to talk to the coaches. Pat Dye sends you right into the offensive line coach and the defensive line coach. You don't get a chance to talk to the quarterback coach. He wants you talking to the guys coaching the horses.
The quarterback coach at Auburn, the Heisman Trophy winner, Pat Sullivan. 3 wide receiver set, and they did it again. This is Ed King, who is a true freshman and quite a prospect from Phoenix City, Alabama, one of the most highly recruited linemen in the country last year. That'll cost him 5 right now. Let's get a check on Emmitt Smith. All right, Jim, that's good news for all college football fans to see him back in. In the meantime, Auburn Vincent Harris up the middle for just a smidgen.
It looks like thus far in the game, this Auburn team, but particularly his offense, really doesn't seem to be into the ball game. They don't seem to be sharp. They don't seem to be mentally in the ball game. We've seen 3 or 4 errors by the offense, and they find themselves in a 2nd and long because of that.
You look from behind. James Joseph, 2nd and 17. Slack back. Settles short. Nice catch, but good coverage defensively. Greg Taylor, the sophomore from Opelika, Alabama, makes the pass catch. Keith DeLong with the tackle. Another one.
There's a reasonably good chance, Vern, with this kind of pass protection, I might have a chance to still play. Watch the protection that Slack gets. You get all day. Again, the crossing route to Taylor. He had lined up on the right, went in motion, and caught the ball on the move. That's a nice throw and a nice idea when you have 2nd and long, 2 plays to get the first down.
It still, however, leads Auburn with 3rd and 12, and they go with 4 wide receivers. Now Shane Wasden is the 4th. Slack, quarterback draw. Nice run, but he couldn't get by the secondary. Keith DeLong again. And DeLong with a ton of tackles already here in the first half.
You know, this game of football is so important to Keith DeLong. He's a senior. The last time he's going to get a chance to play Auburn, this game means a lot to him.
Brent Shulman, Brian Shulman from Brentwood, Tennessee, is on the punt. Gets it away. Thomas Woods to return. At the 32. And a modest 4-yard counterpunch. The tackle is made by Wayne Bleisma. 33-yard punt, 3 on the return.
Sidelines, and see these nice bushes here they have around the stadium? I'll get to them in a minute. 2 years ago, Georgia came here to Auburn and upset them, and the Georgia fans came running onto the field and started tearing up the turf. So they put these nice bushes in. They have needles on them. They're about 1.5 inches long to prevent fans from running out on the field. And I think it will work. Let's go back to you guys.
Oh, boy.
Well, I've seen something a little less subtle in soccer stadiums in Europe, but whatever.
That'll get your attention, won't it?
Won't it, though? I think Georgia wishes it was back between the hedges today. They were, to use a Southern term, getting whomped on by South Carolina in Columbia. First down and 10. Tennessee hanging in there, 7-3. Auburn leads. They fake the draw. Francis, a great block. Now he lobs it out. He was behind the line. That's a legal catch to Nate Middlebrooks, the tight end.
Nate Middlebrooks.
That's only his 3rd catch of the year. They don't throw it to the tight end a lot.
And you know who threw the great block that you were talking about was Reggie Cobb. But watch the center, number 51, Fisher, block the nose tackle. Rowland, as he gets through very quickly. And that was Cobb who blocked the nose tackle. Reggie Cobb is an unselfish player, a complete player. He'll block for you, catch the ball, and certainly run the ball.
2nd down, 3. Tennessee has moved it. Reggie Cobb bounces, tries to bounce. Oh, he was a fraction away from a big gain. Let's watch Benji Rowland in action.
Benji Rowland's one of the few guys I know who likes playing nose tackle, believe it or not. Number 96, he's getting hit by all sorts of people going in different directions. He just gets his back right up in there and gets the back and stuffs everything, and Reggie Cobb tries to bounce it outside.
3rd and 3. 7-3. Auburn leads it. 11:40 to go in the half. Reggie Cobb now 5 carries for 12 yards. He's caught a couple. 3rd and 3. Option play. Nice play to the fullback. That's Vando Davis, the 3rd fullback utilized by Johnny Majors. He is a junior, number 29, out of Wilmington, Delaware.
And that's a surprise to me on a 3rd and 3 with the strength of this Auburn defense. They're down 3, that they can pick up those 3 yards using the fullback.
For the officials to measure the game.
They will bring the chain out. Florida rolling over Mississippi State, having previously squeaked by Montana State and Indiana State. There's Johnny Majors. Spoke about the indomitability of college players and how they always are able to refresh themselves from week to week and thus revive the attitude of the coaches to get them back. It'll be 4th down, and the Vols will not go for it. Apparently, they will punt. Kent Elmore on to punt for the first time. 43.6 yard average for the year. Freddie Waygan waits for it at the 15. The Auburn senior. That is returnable. Pretty good downfield coverage by Tennessee. and they stop Weygand short of the 20-yard line. A 37-yard punt, a modest one for Elmore, but only one on the return. Tigers have the ball. 11 minutes to go in the half. This Tennessee defense with 5 tackles already today. We asked him what Tennessee had to do to win.
Well, our defense was very suspect going into the season, so I think it's time right now. We need to pull together as a team. Inexperiences can no longer be used. We just need to play. We need to start playing football and have some team unity.
I would think a 7-3 score midway early in the second quarter might help. 33. Keith DeLong, whose father Steve was the Outland Trophy winner in 1964 at Tennessee and is in attendance today. Back to play, 11:01 to go first half. Reggie Slack backs in the eye, toss. James Joseph, he's got some room. Gets a terrific downfield block, and now it's a foot race. Out of bounds at the 21. Preston Warren saved the touchdown. A gain of 60 yards.
James Joseph knows how to adjust on the run. This ball was supposed to go all the way outside. He picked up a great block by Brad Johnson, number 52, and then a downfield block by one of his receivers, Taylor.
Freddie Weygand also a part of it, number 14.
Well, watch number 52, the left guard there. That's Brad Johnson. He kicks out the strong safety. Joseph does the adjustment on the run. Weygand and Taylor, number 16, make the block.
That's a gain of 60 for the man they call Bo Peep. James Joseph out of Phoenix City, up the middle, inside the 15. Joseph again, he came in, that's Harris. Joseph came in with a gaudy 10.3 yards per carry average, achieved in large measure because of the extraordinary number of long runs he's had already this year.
And he came into Auburn a couple of years ago. In his first 2 weeks, he put on 20 pounds. He knew he had too much weight when all the offensive linemen were challenging him in the 40-yard dash.
Second down and 1. Walter Reeves lines up tight to the left side. To the fullback, Vincent Harris. That's a first down for Auburn. Well, they've come in explosive dimension today. A 75-yard touchdown pass in the first quarter. And now a 60-yard run to set up this thrust by the Auburn Tigers.
Auburn wants to be a physical team that can come up with big plays. And that's a little unusual. Ordinarily, if you're a physical team, you run the ball off tackle a lot. But these guys have the capability of coming up with big plays in the passing game.
Lee Mark Sellers comes in as an extra tight end. He is tight to the left. First and goal. Freddie Weygand is wide right. They fake the toss. Reggie Slack still alive. Casey Rogers, number 99, finally caught up with him.
It's a nice little call, I think, by Auburn. They were trying to fool a freshman. Casey Rogers is a freshman playing outside linebacker. The naked bootleg. Reggie Slack thought he was going to be able to fool Casey Rogers, the freshman. He stayed at home.
Second down and goal from the 6. 7-3 Auburn. 9:05 to go first half. James Joseph knocked down behind the line. He lost a half yard. Keith DeLong with his 6th tackle today.
And 5 white jerseys around the ball carrier. This is the most important third down for the Tennessee defense right now. They have to prevent them from getting a touchdown.
Third and goal of the 6.
Auburn apparently going to pass. They brought in 2 extra wide receivers. Greg Taylor and White come in. Reeves and Lee Mark Sellers, the 2 tight ends, come out. So it's a 3-receiver set. Weygand and Taylor go to the right. Alexander Wright comes to the wide side of the field to left. And the up stance by the Auburn offensive line. Blitz threatened. They're coming. Draw play. James Joseph knocked down.
Really not a bad call against a blitzing defense, because ordinarily a blitzing defense will run right past the draw play. But that time it didn't really happen. It was a little slow developing, I think. Joseph takes the ball a little bit too deep in the backfield, and number 6, Tony Nelson, put the final stop on him.
Wynn Lyle, who's a 4-point student in pre-med, is on to try his first field goal of the year. He sat out the first game of the season. And the kick is good from 22 yards for Wynn Lyle, the junior from Auburn, Alabama. So Tennessee did what they had to do after the 60-yard run. They held Auburn to 3. Back to play, 7:45 to go in the half. Chris Johnson kicks it off. Anthony Morgan near the goal line for Tennessee. Has some room for the 31. And that will be a 31-yard return. Thus far, Jeff Francis perfect. 9 out of 9 for 95 yards. And Pat, where has he distributed those passes?
Well, he's really throwing the ball downfield, as you can see, in this left deep zone. That's over 10 yards. He's really done a nice job of spreading the ball around, and that's what makes it difficult for a defensive team to cover a quarterback. They're not necessarily trying to pick on one guy or one side of the field. They're doing a nice job of spreading it around.
Francis a perfect 9 of 9. 2 wide receivers to the wide side. 10-3 Auburn. They fake the draw. Francis being chased. Flips it incomplete at the 35-yard line. The man doing the chasing was David Walker, Tracy's younger brother.
Well, he sure was doing the tracing.
And that is Francis' first incomplete pass of the afternoon.
That's like saying no-hitter. We should never have said that.
Isn't that the truth? Tell you, among those with whom Jeff Francis has tossed a football is Terry Bradshaw, who made a speech in Knoxville back during Francis's redshirt season and worked out with him and is among his fans. Thinks he's a very good college quarterback. 2nd down and 10. Toss right. That's out to the 36. It'll leave 3rd and 5. The tackle made by Quentin Riggins, the tiny senior, and I say tiny in the context of this large defensive Auburn. He's 5'11", 205.
He's got a heart the size of New Hampshire. And he really is kind of a dodger. I mean, he gets back there. He's only 5'11", 210 pounds. But he just sifts through all that traffic and finds the ball carrier.
One thing Tennessee has not accomplished with ease today, 3rd down conversions. They are 1 of 5, and they have a 3rd and 5 right now. They trail by 7, under 7 minutes to go in the half. 4-man rush. Francis. It'll be 4th down. He's a yard shy. And it's Ron Stallworth, number 92, who makes the stop.
That was a very big series for the Auburn defense. 3 plays and punt.
That's the first time they've accomplished that today. Weigand is back. Kent Elmore is on to punt for the 2nd time. Fairly good punt. Weigand at the 20. Circles back to the 15 and has some room. And is tackled at the 29-yard line. Time now to present this week's Toyota Leadership Award to team players who've been singled out by their school's coaching and faculty staff for outstanding performance in the areas of team contributions, academics, and citizenship. Today's game team leadership winners are Keith DeLong from Tennessee, a sports management major from Lawrence, Kansas, and Greg Staples from Auburn. Greg is a criminal justice major from Atmore, Alabama. 1st and 10 as War Eagle looks on. Alex Strong and Stacy Danley in the backfield now for the Auburn Tigers. And Slack with a play fake, drops back to throw. Across the middle deep, Alexander Wright right in the seam. A gain of 50, or rather to the 50. It's a gain of 21.
Pass completions are the result of 2 things, really. Good pass protection, which Slack has received all afternoon, and the offensive receiver beating the defense. Wright ran a little inside route again against zone defense. He was wide open. Beautifully executed play.
5:45 to go first half. 1st down 10 at midfield. Lee Mark Sellers, the tight end, in motion. And the handoff. Stacy Danley up the middle to the 44.
How many times have you seen Penn State come back and win in the 4th quarter at home?
Darting to the outside, Alex Strong. That's a 1st down for Auburn. He's at a 37. Shazan Bradley is a true freshman, and the only true freshman starting defensively for Tennessee. Really a remarkable story. A young man who was thought to be mentally retarded, didn't learn to read until he was in the 5th grade. but has made wonderful strides and qualified to play at Tennessee.
I really admire guys who've overcome a lot of adversity. He got up at 6 o'clock in the morning for months to study to pass the exam to enter Tennessee.
Down to the 45.
You know, guys like Bradley fight incredible odds. He was shuffled around different school districts, and as you said, didn't learn how to read till he was in the 5th grade. But what I admire, he didn't let anybody say no to him. He was going to be committed. He wanted to go to the University of Tennessee, and it's easy to pass an AC test for some guys, but it was hard for him. He worked hard, passed, and now he's in and doing well.
2nd down and 7. 4:10 to go in the first half. The toss right, Stacy Danley. Pretty good defensive job by Tennessee to drive him back. Number 88, Tracy Hayworth. Excellent job of stringing the play out.
And this has been a big surprise so far to me today, Vern, is the intensity with this. The defense has played, the volunteer defense that is, again, 4 or 5 jerseys right there, led by number 40, Shazan Bradley, that we're just talking about, and Tracy Hayworth, number 88. But that's what it's going to take, 4 or 5 white jerseys. Defense is a kind of an attitude.
Just to put a period to the paragraph of Shazan Bradley, he's got a sparkling personality. We asked him yesterday if he had the answers to all the questions. He said no, because as soon as you think you know the answer, they keep changing the questions. Here's the toss short. That's going to be very close at the 28. Brian Kimbrough, number 55, makes the tackle. Very close for the first down at the 28. LSU undefeated, an early leader over Ohio State. Iowa State leading, or rather Iowa leading Iowa State. Did he get it? Yes, he did.
You always get him at home. Talked about defense really being a state of mind. Look who wins in the SEC over the past few years. It's teams that have played rugged defense, and you have to stop the run in this conference because teams run the ball very, very well.
1st and 10 Auburn. They lead by 7. Under 3 minutes to go first half. Weigand in motion. The toss, left side, Stacy Danley cuts it upfield. Inside the 25. Fumble. Tennessee ball. First turnover of the game. Number 90 comes up with it as Mark Moore and Kelly Days hurry off, and Mark Moore forced the fumble, number 74.
The defense did a very nice job. The first thing, watch how they stretch out Danley. He's looking for a soft spot early on, but all the jerseys spread him out. Then Danley tries to cut it back inside, and again, 4 or 5 white jerseys. Hobby, number 90, makes the ball, pops the ball loose, and one of his teammates makes the recovery. That's good team defense.
2:39 to go before half. Francis up the middle. Reggie Cobb nudges out near the 23. Tracy Rocker, number 74, with the tackle. I would think if the score doesn't change, the Volunteers feel good.
Oh, absolutely. They have played. They've done. Going to go in at halftime, hopefully, with a close ball game. They've played aggressively on defense, and they haven't turned the ball over on offense.
Thomas Woods comes on. Terrence Cleveland goes out. It's 2nd down and 7. Francis 9 of 10 for 95 yards. Play fake. Francis up. Left side. That one quacked. Late hit out of bounds. They're going to get John Wiley, number 9. As Thomas Woods made the catch. Dead ball foul, personal foul, Auburn.
Yeah, you take a look at the end of the play. The ball is thrown away from the defender by Francis, which is a nice play so the ball didn't get picked off. 1 foot was on the line, and Wiley hit him while he was out of bounds. There's the official. Now, if you think in Tennessee, they have 2 timeouts remaining with 1:52. The big concern, if you're Jeff Francis, is you know your kicker's got some problems. So you got to be thinking touchdown.
McCallum has already missed 1. He's made 1, but that was from 24 yards out. And McCallum only 3 of 7 this season.
That puts an added burden on a quarterback when you don't really have the confidence in your kicker.
First down, Tennessee, 1:52 to go in the half. That is the 5th penalty against Auburn for 40 yards. Toss, Reggie Cobb. Alvin Mitchell said no way. Number 48 defensively.
Loss of 1 on the play. Second and 11.
We mentioned that MIT was playing its first season of football in 87 years. George Carlin is on with Jim Nance at halftime to talk about that. I'm sure seriously.
Quite a combination. Troy Aikman and George Carlin.
Second down, 11. Francis runs right, has a man wide open, caught. First down at the 36-yard line of Auburn. Terrence Cleveland at 5'8", 151 pounds. And believe it or not, the coaching staff says he is the toughest man on the squad.
In the out route, which he runs from the slot formation, he is in the slot right here in the middle of the screen. Watch him that he's going to come down, run the out route, which is a good call when you're trying to stop the clock. And it's a deep out, and it takes a strong arm to be able to do that. He was guarded by the linebacker, Riggins, number 41.
That's Cleveland's second catch, 1st and 10, 58 seconds to go. Francis had to hurry it. And he's dumped after he lets it go, and the crowd wants an intentional grounding penalty.
You know what I like about Jeff Francis is that when he feels the rush, he is still looking downfield. A lot of quarterbacks, when they see the rush, they're looking at the defensive lineman, and they never see when a receiver breaks open. But Francis is always looking downfield, even when he's scrambling.
No flag, though Pat Dye obviously wanted one. What do you think?
Well, I think he gave it a little Laurence Olivier. That wasn't a roughing the passer at all. Good call.
How about an intentional grounding? No?
That could well have been an intentional grounding.
Keith Davis and Roland Poles join the backfield for Tennessee. 40 seconds to go in the half, 2nd and 10. 10-3, Auburn leads it. Blitz coming, Quentin Riggins. Perfect call. And a terrific block downfield inside the 25. Riggins coming on the blitz, and Tennessee was ready for it.
It is the perfect call against the blitz, particularly when you get a couple of guys out in front of the running back.
Time has been called with 29 seconds to go in the first half. Auburn leads 10-3. Well, they're in the ball game at 10-3. How important is a score of any kind here?
Well, thus far this year, they have not really been too close at halftime. This is a very important series for them. They have one timeout with 30 seconds left. Now, they got to be thinking touchdown because of the concern about the kicker. But even if you can't get the ball in the end zone, you need to get 3 points to have that emotional lift to accomplish all your first half goals.
A 3 wide receiver set. 2 come wide right. The wide side of the field, and now Auburn has called timeout.
Interesting strategy by Pat Dye. He wanted to see what formation that Tennessee was going to come out in.
Well, we have a moment. Let's take a look at both college report at halftime. Troy Aikman live with Jim Nance and George Carlin's report on football at MIT. Now, 3 wide receiver set again on 1st and 10. 10-3 Auburn leads at 27 seconds to go before the half. A blitz coming by Auburn, and Francis has to hurry to get rid of the ball. It's incomplete. Alvin Harper makes the catch, but he is out of bounds when he does so. We're in Jordan-Hare Stadium, Auburn, Alabama, southeast corner of the state of Alabama. 85,000 plus on hand. Vern Lundquist along with Pat Hayden here in Auburn.
Your attention, please.
Important SEC game. Tennessee 0-3 for the year. Auburn 2-0 and ranked 4th in the country. But it's been played on even terms in the first half. 2nd and 10. And again, the 2 tiny mites come wide right. Woods and Cleveland. Harper's at the top of your screen. Francis, safety valve. And he gets out of bounds at the 21-yard line, stopping the clock with 18 seconds to go. That's the tight end, Nate Middlebrooks, as Quentin Riggins made the tackle.
And Jeff Francis did a terrific thing there in not forcing the ball, was trying to get the ball downfield. The guy wasn't open. He didn't take the sack, dumped the ball off to his tight end, and now gives it perhaps his field goal kicker a little more room to kick the field goal if they have to do that.
18 seconds to go. It'll be 3rd and 5 from the 20. So Tennessee is looking at a 37-yard field goal effort if this play doesn't gain an inch. 3rd and 6 officially. Good protection in the end zone. Incomplete. Intended for Harper, defended by Wiley. John Wiley, the sophomore from Opelika, Alabama, 9 miles down the road.
Tennessee was hoping for a height mismatch. Harper is 6'3", Wiley only 6 feet. And what they tried to do was get the ball high. This ball was a little bit underthrown. Had he thrown the ball a little bit farther, Harper had a chance to go up and get it. But it was underthrown, and it was well played by Wiley.
Chip McCallum is 0 for the season outside of 40 yards or 30 yards. This will be officially a 38-yard kick. That might be there. He got it.
And that is a tremendous emotional lift for the Volunteers before they go into halftime. Down only by 4 points.
38-yard field goal for Chip McCallum, the freshman from Marietta, Georgia, and the lead is shaved to 4 with 7 seconds to go. Don't know that Tracy Rucker thought he was going to get involved in this kind of a tussle this afternoon.
Well, remember, we talked to Pat Dye, and he was just so concerned about this Tennessee team in these kind of circumstances. How many times have head coaches seen their teams favored by 20 points come into a game where they're playing a team that hasn't won a game and they're in a dogfight? What it's going to take at halftime for Auburn, I think, to come out and try to start dominating. I think they're really going to have to be a lot more physical on offense. Run the ball off tackle. They've got a good, strong offensive line. They're going to have to try to take it to the Tennessee defense.
Pat Dye's team has gotten 2 big plays to set up their scores. A 75-yard first quarter touchdown pass from Slack to right, and then a 60-yard James Joseph run, which set up a field goal, thus accounting for the 10 Auburn points. Tennessee has moved the ball on longer drives and taken much more time. College football continues a week from today. Another SEC battle, an important one, as the Florida Gators are at home in Gainesville against LSU. That's live at 2:30, and Brent Musburger back with Pat Hayden a week from today. Brent, as we said, is taking the day off to be with his son at the Cincinnati, Miami of Ohio.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing Tommy Hodson, the quarterback at LSU, and of course Emmitt Smith. Hodson's off to a terrific start for LSU.
This one goes deep, bounces at the 17. Picked up by James Joseph. And he's knocked down at the 28-yard line. Tackle made by Shazan Bradley, number 40. And that'll do it for halftime. That's the end of the first half with the score. It off for Auburn. Anthony Morgan will take it at the 10 for Tennessee. Excellent return. Short kicks have been returned in good field position. Moments ago, Pat O'Brien had a chance to chat with Tennessee coach Johnny Majors.
Coach, you have to be proud of your defense.
Well, Pat, I think this is the best our defense has played thus far during the season. Without 3 big plays, that's part of football. Without giving us 3 big plays, we're ahead of the ball game, but we aren't. I think we fought them hard, played very well, except the 2 big passes and 1 long run.
If you take away those 2 passes and a run, here's the toss. Reggie Cobb fumbled. Auburn ball. Tracy Rucker closed it. Alvin Mitchell gets it.
The Auburn defense has always come up with big plays since Pat Dye has been here. Watch 74, that's Tracy Rucker. He's the one who's going to penetrate here and cause the fumble. And then number 48, Alvin Mitchell, to his left, is going to make the recovery. He fights through the man, really just strips the ball, and there's 48, Alvin Mitchell, making up the heads-up play. Good team defense.
Turnovers even at 1-1. Alvin Mitchell, the senior from Venice, Florida, with the fumble recovery. Toss to Joseph, goes left. Inside the 25 to the 22. Martin Williams, the nose tackle, makes the grab.
And another test today for this Tennessee defense. They're feeling good going into halftime. Their offense comes out and turns the ball over. It's right back on the defense. They have to stop the Auburn offense now.
From the 22, 2nd and 4. Officially 2nd and 5. Vincent Harris. Look at the leg drive, Pat. Statistically at half with the score 10-6. Here's the way the two teams matched up. Rushing yards, Auburn 116 to 44. 75 came on, or 60 rather, came on one run. And the passing yardage 142 to 129. 75 of those yards for a touchdown. The total 258 to 173. And as you heard Johnny Majors tell Pat O'Brien, if you take away 3 big plays, they might have been ahead. Those take away those 3, and here's the first down for Auburn. And the Tigers had 89 yards of offense in the first half. But they have done very well. Now that's an inflated average because of Joseph's 75-yard run.
And Auburn has done a very nice job on first down. They've gotten themselves usually 4 or 5, 6 yards on first down.
Weigand breaks wide to the left side. Alexander Wright is wide right. James Joseph as he gets to the line of scrimmage.
Wow, was he hit by number 66, Martin Williams, the nose tackle.
Joseph picks up 1 yard on the play.
All 280 pounds of him. He's over the center. He gets great leverage. He's only 6'1", 280 pounds, and then what that allows a guy to do over the center is get some leverage. He runs right through the guard and is there to make the pop on James Joseph. Good play by Williams.
Auburn goes with 4 wide receivers on 2nd down and long. Slack, man in the slot. Greg Taylor, 1st and goal at the 3.
What I like about this Auburn passing attack that Pat Sullivan has really put in for Auburn is they can go way downfield, which they have a couple times to Alexander Wright, but they can also have the patience to dump the ball off short as they did right there to Taylor.
That's a gain of 13 yards. It'll be 1st and goal from the 4 now. 12:55 to go. Fumble by Cobb to open the second half. And here comes the Tiger package. That's what they call this unbalanced line to the left. And the wishbone formation. They come right. Talk a little bit about this offensive scheme they use, Pat, with the load to the left-hand side.
What they're going to do, your quarterback, Reggie Slack, comes up. You see there's the tight end here, and there is 2 tackles. Both the tackles come over here. This is ordinarily the tight end right here. This time, they come right back here, but good, again, team defense are the ones that stop the running back right there, Joseph.
And that's a formation in which the offense checks with Slack ordinarily when they get to the line of scrimmage, right?
It's an easy call for him. He comes up to the line of scrimmage. He looks to his right. If there are 4 players to the right, he'll run the ball to the right. If there's 5 there, he runs the other way.
No Tiger package on 2nd and goal. Instead, they go with 4 wide receivers. Slack, 3-step drop, drills it. Caught, shorted. Oh, a touchdown. Freddie Weigand.
Although he came back out to the 1-yard line, as long as the ball crosses the plane of the end zone, it's a touchdown.
Is the 5th touchdown toss for Reggie Slack this season. Win Lyle is on to try the extra point. High snap. Kick is up and good.
Reggie Slack has really been accurate. His balls are easy to catch because they're right at the numbers. He drills this ball right there, easy for Weigand to catch. His feet were in, but it's the ball that is really the key, not the feet here. The ball has got to cross the plane. It's not a matter of his feet.
Thus, Tennessee fans are wondering, did he or didn't he? But it
Ball to touchdown. The receiver has to catch the ball, of course, and the ball has to cross the plane. There's the goal line. The ball is caught right there by Weigand, and that's a good call by the official. That's a touchdown.
Ball was in the end zone. Chris Johnson will kick off. Anthony Morgan waits for it. 17-6. Morgan comes up after the short kick and takes it at the 16. Whoa! Oh! Doug Huntley, number 42. That's an 8-yard return.
Doug Huntley making the stop of Morgan at the 23.
Good shot. Now, Tennessee has had some success so far on the kickoff returns. Not that time. Terrific coverage by Auburn.
And now the Volunteers back on offense. They moved the ball under Jeff Francis quite well in the first half. Total of 173 yards. Francis 12 of 17 for 129. But had to settle for field goals. And they now trail by their largest margin of the game, 11, after the 27-yard drive. To the fullback. Roland pulls. A flag is down. Tackle made by Tracy Rocker, number 74.
No gain.
No gain if the play stands.
A holding call against the Volunteers. I think Tennessee, Vern, puts more pressure on their quarterback, more responsibility on the quarterback than any team in the Southeastern Conference. They signal in 2 plays for him to call. He'll get in the huddle, call those 2 plays. He comes to the line of scrimmage, decides which one he's going to use at the line of scrimmage, takes the ball from center and has to execute. All that has to happen in 25 seconds. That's a lot for a college quarterback.
That is a strain, I would think, on the quarterback. You like that idea?
Well, when you have a guy like Jeff Francis, he's a bright guy. He's very capable of handling it, but you have to be experienced. You have to be in the system for a couple of years.
And Francis is a 5th-year senior from Mount Prospect, Illinois. Johnny Majors looks on now. And Francis brings him to the line. 1st and 20. 11:27 to go, 3rd quarter. Play fake. Pressure. Reggie Cobb. Fumble. Auburn ball. Senior from Sheffield, Alabama, made the hit and the recovery, and Reggie Cobb is still down.
And this is not Reggie Cobb's fault. This is all Carlo Cheatham. He read the screen beautifully. He was playing in his zone, saw it the whole way, and it was going full speed when he hit Cobb, causing the fumble.
Carlo Cheatham has not played this year because of an injury. And Reggie Cobb gets some assistance to the Volunteer bench. You would not think it to watch him in action, but Carlo Cheatham is a very quiet man. His first 2 years at Auburn, the press guide listed him as Carlos with an S. Only in his junior year did he go to David Housel and say, fellas, my name is Carlo, C-A-R-L-O. Thank you. I formation. Toss to the right. James Joseph to the 3.
Play should have been dropped for a loss, but Vincent Harris, the fullback, blocked about 3 Volunteers, and that allowed Joseph to stretch it out and pick up a couple of yards.
Johnny Majors' team error-free in the first half, not here.
Watch Harris, the fullback, right there. He's going to block really about 2 or 3 guys. They get tripped up on him, and that allowed Joseph create a positive play out of a negative one.
2nd down and goal. Harris up the middle. Flag is down on the far side of the field.
If Tennessee is going to keep this game from getting out of hand, they've got to make a goal line stand here and force a field goal attempt.
And Pat, they did do that in the first half. They forced a field goal that made it 10-3 at the time. This is against Auburn. Back to the 9. Illegal procedure. So Joseph comes out. The Volunteers make some defensive changes now, and Auburn will go with 4 wide receivers. Shane Wasden, number 8, and Freddie Wagan. They go to the left as Pat Dye looks on. Alexander Wright and Greg Taylor come to the right side, and Harris is behind Reggie Slack. But out of bounds at the 1. It's Greg Taylor, tackled by Brian Kimbrough.
The idea is to stretch the defense, bring 1 receiver on your side deep, and the other receiver runs right underneath him short. The ball is well-timed and thrown, again, right in the numbers. That's an easy ball to catch. And Taylor tries to dive over the end zone.
3rd and goal from the 1. 10:15 to go in the 3rd quarter.
biggest play for the Tennessee defense thus far this year.
Power I formation. Touchdown. Two fumbles have been converted into a couple of touchdowns. Lyle's kick is up and through, and just like that, in the first 4 minutes and 47 seconds of the third quarter, Auburn has scored 14 points. Harris gets it from a yard out, and the fourth-ranked Tigers are on a roll. 6 lead. 10-13 still remaining third quarter. So successive fumbles by the Auburn offense, recovered by the Tennessee offense. And now Chris Johnson's kick. Anthony Morgan again, a short kick, taken at the 11. And out to the 28-yard line. Big day, National Football League on CBS tomorrow. It begins with the NFL today at 12:30 Eastern Time. Most of you watch Chicago, Green Bay. Atlanta will be at Dallas. And also on the early menu, Philadelphia, Minnesota. That's a big game early in the season. Tampa Bay visits New Orleans. Most of you around the country will watch the undefeated Rams take on the Giants in New York in the second half of the doubleheader. 49ers with a big game at Seattle tomorrow. And the Washington Redskins, without Doug Williams, take on the Phoenix Cardinals. Vando Davis, Keith Benson in the backfield. The flip out left side. And that's Alvin Harper, the sophomore from Frostproof, Florida, who makes the catch. Tackle made by John Wiley, number 9.
Tennessee has really had a tough start this half. The two fumbles really weren't bad execution on offense. I think it was just terrific defense by the Auburn hitters. They came up and really forced the fumbles. But Vern is up to Jeff Francis right now to make sure his teammates don't quit. He can be a good leader even when you're down like this.
Second down and short, handoff left. That should be enough for the first down. Let's go to Jim Nantz in New York for this against Wisconsin in the second quarter. You're talking to the wrong Swede.
Boy.
We learned something last week, all of us around the country.
Yeah.
Here's the stretch of the chain, and it is a Tennessee first down. One of the things Jeff Francis told us Thursday in Knoxville I found interesting. Pat, he said, I need to start playing like a fifth-year senior. I need to remember and play like the score is 0-0 and think in terms of getting one first down, then the next first down, and then the next first down.
That's exactly right. And not worrying about being 0-3. He's got to exert himself as a leader, which I think he has throughout the last couple of years at Tennessee.
3 wide receiver set, Francis back. Too high, incomplete. And he had the man open. It was Terrence Cleveland.
Number 4, Terrence Cleveland.
It's one of the few bad balls that Jeff Francis has thrown. He's a very accurate thrower, completes about 60% of his passes, has for 2 years. And part of it's the system that Walt Harris has installed here at Tennessee.
My gracious, your alma mater's doing well.
Yeah, Rodney Pete's for real out there at Southern Cal, believe me. Ohio State bounces back after a loss last week. And look at West Virginia.
Second down and 10, Tennessee. They trail 24-6. Francis in trouble. Ron Stallworth. And Jeff Francis does a mini Luganis and gets about 4 yards with the dive.
And the Russian judge, 3.2.
That's right.
Again, it's frustrating when you're a defensive lineman trying to sack Jeff Francis because he takes short drops and then steps up into the pocket, and it's really hard to get to him.
This is a patchwork offensive line working in front of Francis. 2 injuries in the first half. Robinson and Stewart have not come back. 3rd and 11. Fumble. Auburn ball.
No. That should have been a pass. He was trying to throw that ball, and it was deflected.
And there is, of course, no instant replay in college football.
You're going to see Jeff Francis. He is going to scramble, and I think he was trying to dump this ball and throw it. No, it was. He didn't. He didn't get rid of it. It was a fumble. Good call by the official. It was number 90, Brian Smith, who really got there and took the ball right out of his hands.
And then Steve Brown recovered. 3 possessions, 3 fumbles for Tennessee. here in the second half. 8:36 to go, third quarter. And this is putting a terrific amount of pressure on a very young Tennessee defense. Slack, caught. Alexander Wright at the 31, first down. Tackle made by Preston Warren, number 21, the sophomore cornerback.
Warren made the stop for Tennessee.
Reggie Slack has a big-time arm. And remember, Wright down here is beating them deep. This time he's going to run way down and run the out cut. And if you're a defensive back, you have to be concerned with Wright's speed. This was set up beautifully. They've thrown the ball to Wright deep a couple of times. This time the deep out and a well-thrown ball.
First down and 10, Auburn, 24-6. They lead it. Joseph in motion. Four-man rush for Tennessee. James Joseph makes the catch, and he's got the ball at the 25-yard line.
James Joseph.
Joseph trying to take his place in the company of great running backs who have played here at Auburn. You think of Bo Jackson, William Andrews, Lionel James. And out of them all, who does this man idolize? Pat Hayden.
I wouldn't say he said he saw me. I'm not sure he idolized me.
I'll put the words in his mouth. Reggie Slack, 11 of 13. 2 touchdowns already. Joseph flagged down. And Joseph barely caught.
There's the flag on the play.
That might be holding.
Holding
That is
call
holding.
against Auburn.
Here's a man I give a lot of credit to, Pat Dye. Shown great flexibility. He told us this week that he felt that he still could win 8 or 9 games running the wishbone, but he felt in this conference you had to throw the football. And it's an offense that he's really uncomfortable in, so we brought in Pat Sullivan and some other coaches, and he has really been able to change. A lot of coaches wouldn't run an offense they're not comfortable with.
Matter of fact, he told us he had a conversation with Barry Switzer, who is still running the wishbone. Barry thought about changing it one time. After Pat Dye went out of the wishbone and went to the multiple formation, Switzer called him. And he said, I really admire your fortitude in sticking with the change. And Dye has done it successfully. 2nd and 14, flag is down. Auburn, of course, not the only school that has gone more to a passing game in the last decade, Pat.
Well, I think you're finding it all over the country, but I think this is a telling statistic. As you see over the years, they're throwing the ball more and more, and they've had some very talented quarterbacks, including this year. They're watching 2 of them today, and next week we get to see Tommy Hodson. But there's good quarterbacks throughout the ACC.
That was a 5-yard procedure penalty against Auburn, and as a result, they've got 2nd in a bunch. 2nd and 19, no blitz. Slack with time, a lot of time. Wiggles free and picks up 6 or 7 he perhaps should not have had. Charles McCray makes the tackle. The Irish are rolling over Purdue.
And Reggie Ho, one of our favorite guys.
Clemson over Georgia Tech. That's a final. How about this finish? Rutgers. That's another big win. 2nd one for them this year.
And Dick Anderson, who's the head coach at Rutgers, beats his old head coach, Joe Paterno. He coached underneath him there.
Michigan now 1 and 2. 4 wide receivers, 3rd and 12. Blitz coming from Tennessee. They almost got him. Tony Nelson was there, but look, and Wagan makes the catch. Perfect execution. And a gain of 25.
Vern, I have to tell you that I am incredibly impressed with Reggie Slack's accuracy. Every ball has been catchable. He hasn't thrown a bad ball. Watch this one. Again, he's under duress. Perfect fundamentals, doesn't waste any motion. He's got guys hanging all over him, and still the ball is right there, easy for Wagan to make the catch. Every ball is right at the numbers. Big pressure. It was number 6, Tony Nelson, who is the free safety, who put the blitz on.
1st and goal again. This time at the 9-yard line. Taylor in motion. Slack has missed only 2 today. Fires it. Caught by Joseph out of bounds at the 3-yard line. Preston Warren defending. Reggie Slack putting on a show here in the second half.
I think one of Reggie Slack's greatest attributes as a quarterback is that he is really even-tempered. He doesn't get too high when things are going well. He doesn't get low when things are going badly. That's important for a quarterback.
And he gives a lot of credit to his work with Pat Sullivan, doesn't he?
Pat Sullivan has spent a lot of time working on good old-fashioned fundamentals with Reggie Slack. Just dropping back, keeping the ball high, no wasted motion. It's really paid off.
And here is the Tiger package, the unbalanced line to the left. They play fake. Slack rolls out. Will he make it? Yes. Ryan Kimbrough had him. Couldn't keep him. Touchdown, Auburn.
That's about as well as a college quarterback or any quarterback can throw the ball on that series. Reggie Slack just threw it beautifully.
Win Lyle on for the extra point. 3 fumbles have been converted into 3 touchdowns in the first 9 minutes of the third quarter. Watch the Tiger package. The unbalanced line, strength to the left.
Top of the screen. Ordinarily, when you're a linebacker, you love to see the quarterback come out there one-on-one, except when it's a guy like Reggie Slack, 200 and some odd pounds, 6'2", and he can break some tackles.
5:41 to go. Third quarter. It's all and Southern Cal in the same afternoon.
A lot of those guys from MIT know what pi times the speed of light is.
A change in the kickoff man for Auburn, Chris Dickinson this time, and he may keep the job. That's the first kickoff. It's gone into the goal line, and it'll be a touchback for the Volunteers. Well, warm afternoon, big crowd. Somewhere in this crowd of 85,000 is our Pat O'Brien. Let's find out where that might be.
Well, it may be warm down on the field, but I'm up in an air-conditioned box number 320, where about 20 people are enjoying the ball game this afternoon. It's a little warm down there, but it's kind of comfortable up here where they have 3 monitors, maid service food. Jimmy Long, this is your box. This is a way to watch football, isn't it?
Man, you better believe it. It is great.
How do you think Vern and Pat are doing?
Well, short of fantastic.
Let's go back to them.
All right, how much did you pay to get in there, Pat? That was nearly another fumble as the Volunteers have 1 yard in this half offensively. Keith Davis with that carry.
And give some credit to Wayne Hall, the defensive coordinator for Auburn. He coaches, again, the defensive line. He sets the defensive game plan each week. Again, he wanted his guys to be physical and aggressive. That's what they've been, particularly here in the second half.
First time in this half that Tennessee has had a second down play. And Keith Davis goes over left tackle into the arms of Ron Stallworth.
Hard to imagine that Ron Stallworth, who is 6'5" and 258, his mother was concerned about him didn't want him to play football, and actually he didn't play until the 9th grade. She was afraid that he was going to get hurt. He's doing most of the hurting now.
We've talked to, well, we'll get back to it after this play. It's going to be first down and 10, Tennessee now. Option play. Tracy Rocker getting to play a little bit this afternoon. He's been a spectator most of the season because they've been ahead.
And they've been running away from him a lot. Watch how he gets right through the man in front of him. He's got tremendous arm strength. And see how low he gets? Nice little stunt. Throws off the fullback, and then that's easy pickings when you have a quarterback.
13 tackles today. He had 2 tackles for the season in the first 2 games. Here's Francis back. Way back. Greg Ogletree, number 94. It's all falling apart for the Tennessee line. Again, they lost 2 starters in the first quarter. Phil Stewart, Ray Robinson. They've got a left guard, Patrick Lenore, who was a member of the defensive line. He's a redshirt freshman, so they really have a patchwork bunch up front. And the depth is not there. Even before the injuries, Pat, they were very thin.
And on a hot day like that, that is very telling as you close out the third and fourth quarters.
3rd and 20. Francis sacked again. Anthony Judge and Ron Stallworth.
Ron Stallworth probably doesn't get as much publicity as Benji Rowland and Tracy Rocker, but does a terrific job there.
And here's the punt by Kent Elmore. Shane Wasden is back to return it for the first time. And he's knocked down at the 35-yard line. 49-yard punt, 2 on the return. Reggie Slack has been superb in this ball game. 13 of 15, 215 yards. How about his pass distribution.
Again, he's done a nice job of throwing the ball downfield, dumping the ball deep. He's thrown a couple of deep ones to right. As you can see, they're over the middle and both sides. Again, he's using the whole field. And then he's hit his backs coming out of the backfield and some shorter routes underneath the coverage to his wide receivers. Really spread it around.
7 of 7 for 73 yards in this half and both touchdowns. Lobs it deep, almost picked off. Preston Warren, who has 2 already this year, just about grabbed his 3rd.
That was the first bad throw we've seen out of Slack, but is it my imagination, or is he playing the position of quarterback about as calmly and nonchalantly as you can?
Here's the way they've scored by quarters. Those 21 points set up by 3 fumble recoveries by the Auburn defense. 2 touchdowns in the air, 1 on the ground. Reggie Slack, the junior out of Milton, Florida, 2nd and 10. 31-6. Auburn leads it. Final 3 minutes. Draw play. James Joseph. Ankle tackle.
Oh no, the fans are doing the wave. I thought they outlawed that.
I had hoped they had.
And it's a weak wave.
It sure is. Mercifully. 3rd and 8. Auburn 4 of 7 on 3rd down conversions. 4 wide receivers. Greg Taylor wide open across the middle.
Oh.
And he ran back. He had the first down and committed the cardinal sin of running away from the first down marker.
And he will hear about that tomorrow. Actually advanced past the marker. Watch the slot receiver again. What they do is a nice job of bringing the guys down here. The marker's right over here. He has the first down, then goes back and gets caught short of the first down.
Watch the end of it and keep this stat in mind. This is the 2nd time all year that the Tennessee defense has held the team to 3 plays and a punt. That has been a major part of the problem. And this is only the 2nd time they've forced a punt after 3 downs. Reggie Slack, very even-tempered. His coach, Pat Dye, says it's uncanny how evenly dispositioned he is. Reggie Slack talked about that.
On the field, I think it really helps to be on an even keel. You know, when things get really wild out there on the field, the teammates look for someone who's going to keep their composure and get things rolling again. So I think my attitude, as far as that's concerned, is really helpful.
Certainly has been today. They lead at 31-6, 94 seconds to go, 3rd quarter. Fumble. Andy Kelly is in at quarterback now, the freshman from Dayton, Ohio. And I don't know whether that's it for Jeff Francis or not. South Carolina knocks off Georgia 23-10. Alabama leading Vandy, and Florida over Mississippi State. Andy Kelly came on in relief last week and was 4 of 7 for 28 yards. He's a 6'2", 194-pound freshman. And Keith Davis in the carry there.
Kelly, as you mentioned, is a young player in this system, and because the system at Tennessee is complicated, it takes a while to develop. There's a lot of audibles. We talked about how much responsibility Tennessee puts on the quarterback. He's a talented guy with a big arm, but it's going to take a couple of years in the system before he can really be the guy.
Andy Kelly, those 4 of 7 passes he completed in the one game in which he's played, 2 of those were deliberate throwaways, so he's really 4 out of 5. Most of them short passes. Tennessee has had problems this afternoon on 3rd down conversions, a big one here. Play fake. Kelly, that's nearly a safety. He's down at the 1. Tracy Rocker. Interesting, Wayne Hall said about Tracy Rocker when people started wondering about the 2 tackles he had in 2 games, said, don't you worry. Tracy Rocker will be there when the season is over. Well, he didn't wait for the season to be over.
When the lights go on, Tracy Rocker knows how to play. Again, beats the tackle very, very quickly upfield, nearly a safety.
Elmore's on to punt, but he'll have to wait a couple of minutes. Number 4, Vern Lundquist and Pat Hayden. Ken Elmore on the punt. And the Tennessee problems have not been overcome. They're punting from deep in their own end of the field, the 2-yard line. There's Jeff Francis, who hit 9 of 9 in the first half, but is now 14 of 20. He's given way to Andy Kelly. Shane Wasden waits for this punt from Elmore at the 40-yard line. That's a nice punt by Elmore. Wasden at the 47. And he's down at the 37-yard line. Coming up tomorrow, the National Football League on CBS. It all begins with the NFL today. Brent will be back in the studio for that. Then Chicago against Green Bay leads the first game. Others will see Atlanta against Dallas. Others of you watch Philadelphia and Minnesota. And we complete the menu in the first go-round with Tampa Bay and New Orleans. And the second half of our doubleheader on CBS, Auburn with a 31-6 lead. Stacy Danley, number 32, gets the handoff, and Marion Hobby makes the tackle.
It's one of the few times we've seen in the second half where a defensive lineman for Tennessee has really shed the blocker and been able to make the tackle at or near the close the line of scrimmage. Marion Hobby, their best defensive lineman, did it there.
See Shazan Bradley, number 40, still in. Ernest Fields, number 23, and there is Marion Hobby, who made the tackle. Second down and 8. Wagan starts in motion, the 5th-year senior. Toss to the right, Stacy Danley cuts it back nicely and gets to the 30-yard line before the tackle is made. Right now, let's go back and get an update from Jim Nantz. Open the season over Brigham Young, and now coming back against Air Force. Our score is 31-6, 13:39 to go in the ball game. They go to the weak side of the field, and Stacy Danley might have enough for the first down. See where the spot is. Well, they've had problems defensively. This team played so well in the first half and then were called upon to defend with poor field position in the third quarter. 3 fumbles.
Gain of 2 on the play. 4th and 1 at the Tennessee 28.
That is the offense, not the defense. That's Keith Davis talking. Senior leadership from Keith Davis. See Doug Baird in the 73.
You need guys like that on your team in games like that. I give Keith Davis an awful lot of credit trying to keep his teammates up.
4th and 1, and Auburn will go for it. Out of the Tiger formation, first down.
You know, there's good news and bad news if you're a Tennessee fan and about this defense. Although they're having some rough moments early in the year, they're a young team. It's a team that's going to get better as the year goes on. And, of course, next year and a couple of years down the road, it could be a very good defensive team. They're going to have to take their lumps this year.
1st and 10, Auburn. Danley comes out of the lineup. Alex Strong is in, number 40. Freshman. Henry Love, widely recruited, true freshman running back, number 23. He had a big game in the second half last week in the win over Kansas. Johnny Majors has never been 0-3 as a coach. Pittsburgh or Tennessee. And Tennessee has not been 0-4 since 1962.
Yeah, I think Johnny Major said an interesting thing this week. He said you can't take out your frustrations on your 18 and 19-year-old kids.
Second down. Greg Taylor in motion. That's a loss back at the 20. Stacy Danley. As Cedric Klein, number 30, comes up and makes the tackle. There's Klein, number 30, junior out of Loudon, Tennessee.
Really playing with a very sore shoulder, Klein is.
This was a competitive ball game in halftime, 10-6. On the first series of the third quarter, Tennessee fumbled at the 27. Auburn took it in. Next possession, they fumbled at the 9. Auburn took it in. And then they fumbled again. Auburn took it in. Here's Slack. Almost picked off. It is. Intercepted. Cedric Klein, who just made a tackle on the running play, gets his first interception of 1988.
And give Cedric Klein and really this Tennessee defense some credit. They've been out there an awful long time today. The ball was underthrown by Slack, and that gave Klein time to make up the difference and make the nice interception.
And that That brings the Volunteer offense back onto the field. They've got the ball at the 14-yard line. Jeff Francis is back in at quarterback. So a rest for one series, and Francis is back in there, the fifth-year senior. Turnovers now 3 and 2. He's got John Rollins at fullback, and Rollins gets the handoff and a couple of yards. If you want a personification of persistence, how about John Rollins as an example? Let's tell you about this young man. Grew up in Knoxville, loved the University of Tennessee, and wanted to play there. His high school team went 2-8 and 0-10 his last 2 years. No scholarship. He went to Tennessee Military Institute to try and play. No scholarship. He played at Mars Hill, an NAIA school in North Carolina, for 1 year. Dropped out, transferred to Tennessee, sat out a year, became academically ineligible for another year. And finally, a year ago August, finally, in the summer of '87, was offered a scholarship and started in the Kickoff Classic as a tight end. He said he called his dad, who's a plumbing contractor in Knoxville, broke into tears. He was so happy, and now he's been asked to fulfill the role at fullback. But if you want a guy who's a tenacious young man, I can think of no better example than John Rollins.
I really have admiration for guys like that. You know, he's really emotional about Tennessee. Even this week, talking about the school and his team, he was nearly in tears.
Rollins is number 85 in the backfield. Here's Jeff Francis. He's chased. Catch is made at the 14-yard line. Anthony Morgan makes the catch, or Keith Denson, rather. And Smokey Hodge makes the tackle. Miami of Florida told you not to give up on them.
Number 20, Keith Denson.
Ohio State now leading by just 1 at the half. And Florida State leading by 10. How about Michigan State? How about the whole Big Ten?
It's unbelievable. West Virginia is one of those surprise teams. You know, every year in college football, there seems to be a Cinderella team. I think West Virginia is the team this year.
3rd and 10. Four-man rush. Francis delivers the ball. That will not be enough for the first down, I do not believe. Nope, yard short. Alvin Harper with the catch, and Pat O'Brien down there somewhere. Patrick?
All right, Vern, thank you. One of the more confusing mascot stories in the country. The Auburn Tigers mascot is an eagle. This is War Eagle, the 6th one they've had, and they used to feed this eagle 2 rats on game day, but they stopped doing that. They feed them ground up horse meat. I guess they couldn't find any volunteers. Let's go back upstairs.
Ooh, no pun intended, I know.
No, not at all. He wrote that in his room last night. Wasden back to return the punt of Kent Elmore. Wasden goes right. It's down at the 44. Oh, Patrick O'Brien, 37-yard punt. Auburn leads 31-6. They love barbecue, catfish, and football.
This is a machine designed to keep you on time. And this is what makes it tick. People. Working together with clock-like precision, each dedicated to keeping you on schedule. Time after time after time. American Airlines, the on-time machine.
1-6 Auburn turning it around with 21 points in quarter number 3. Just one of the many games going on in college football around the country this afternoon. This an important SEC encounter. These two teams have been playing the last Saturday in September annually since 1956. Big hole. Alex Strong, another young man who's overcome adversity, had a seriously broken leg a year ago. And now operating back in there at fullback, and that's a 22-yard run.
And the man who threw the key block was a freshman, Ed King, number 67, who's playing left guard. Watch the left guard. He is a true freshman, 18 years old. He makes a nice block here that clears the way for Strong. And also number 51, Rose, the center as well.
1st and 10 after the 22-yard gain. Sellers started to move, but got set in time, and now the handoff goes to Stacy Danley, number 32. 8:48 to go in the ball game. Ed King is that young man from Phoenix City, Alabama, number 67 for Auburn. One of the most widely recruited linemen in the country last year, and what a compliment paid to him by Pat Dye. Pat Dye said he has the potential to be as good as any player I have ever coached before he's through. Ed King.
I remember a guy named Bo Jackson who played here.
That crossed my mind. Alex Strong around the right side. Well, MIT playing its first game in 87 years today. How did they do? They won 29-7 over Stonehill.
And really, let's have a cheer for him. MIT has my favorite college cheer: E to the U, DU, DX, E to the X, DX. Cosine, secant, tangent sign, 3.14159. Integral, radical, UDV, slipstick, slide rule, MIT.
Okay, Rhodes Scholar. You proved you're literate. Now, what does it mean?
It means go Beavers. That's their nickname. Nature's engineers.
And mercifully, we've got a timeout call. Reggie Slack will come over to the field. Reggie Slack downs the result for Auburn.
And Jeff Francis said they could not turn the ball over if they were going to have a chance today.
It was 10-6 at the half. It became 31-6 in the third quarter, and that's where it is. An unbalanced line. Here's the Tiger formation on 3rd and 2. Reggie Slack has continued at the quarterback spot, and Stacy Danley might have enough. That's going to be close at the 24-yard line. Shazan Bradley, number 40, made the tackle.
And you wonder at what time does Pat Dye pull Reggie Slack and some of the offensive players. A year ago, he had one of his stars on defense, Tracy Rocker, get hurt on the last play of the game and was lost for the rest of the year. I think he's trying to get as much work as he can for the offensive team, but at some point you have to start getting concerned about injuries.
He's gone with all backups in the offensive line. We'll set them here in a moment. If they get the first down, they will go for it on 4th and 1, and they get it in a big way as Vincent Harris, number 21, is finally stopped by Preston Warren. 7 minutes to go. 7:04. Next Saturday from Gainesville, Brent Musburger rejoins Pat Hayden. And of course, we'll be selecting the players of the game a little bit later on in this game. Next week, we've got LSU and Florida from Gainesville. 1st and 10. Again, the wishbone. James Joseph goes right, cuts back left. Interesting how they use this, though, Pat, this formation. It's not really an option offense, is it?
It is a power offense. Ordinarily, when you get into the wishbone, you come down, you fake the ball to the fullback, and you're thinking about option. But for Auburn, it is very much a power offense.
There's the big upset of the day. Rutgers over Penn State at State College. Michigan wins its first today. South Carolina in an early season showdown. They were both undefeated coming in. 31-6 here, 6:09 to go. Alex Strong back in, and the wishbone again on 2nd and 7. James Joseph goes right. That's his 13th carry of the ball game. That offensive line now, as Pat Dye is getting a chance to work with some backup people. He's got Anthony Brown, a sophomore, number 64 in. Ed King, the freshman about whom we spoke. Mark Rose, 51, is in at center. Brad Johnson at right guard. And Bob Meeks, number 70, another offensive lineman of whom they think he has much potential.
Again, a freshman, 6'3", 260 pounds. They like the size and bulk they have with the young offensive lineman.
3rd and 5. 31-6 ball game, and the clock is rolling. This time they come left. Henry Love, number 23, and that'll be short of the first down. Field goal unit comes on. At the conclusion of today's CBS Sports College Football broadcast, we'll select a Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the Game from each team. Chevy donates a $1,000 scholarship to the General Scholarship Fund of each school. Here's Win Lyle. On to try the field goal. He's got one today. The holder is Brian Shulman, the punter. And there's Smokey the Tick Hound. Whoops. Missed it. Left. Flag is down. And Lyle is down. We might have running into the kicker.
There's two different penalties in college football: running into the kicker and roughing the kicker. One of them is a 5-yard penalty, and one of them is a 15, an automatic first.
This was Jeremy Lincoln who ran into him.
Well, I tell you, a kicker is so vulnerable in this position. Oh, And that's how you can blow out a knee. It wasn't intentional by Lincoln. Number 25 is doing his best to block the kick.
That is a running into the kicker, but it's also good enough for the first down, 5 yards. And it's first and goal at the Tennessee 7, and Henry Love trots back onto the field, number 23. Alex Strong will join the lineup in just a moment.
And if you're defense for Tennessee, you're just thinking pride right now. You know you're not going to win the football game, but you don't want to embarrass yourself. You still want to be out there fighting and scratching every down, because that's what defense is about.
First and goal at the 7. Toss left. Henry Love upended as he gets to the 6-yard line. Love is a 6'1", 210-pounder from Douglasville, Georgia, and a man with a lot of talent.
Brian Kimbrell, the outside linebacker, got up very slowly after making a real good play. He's been in the game most of the afternoon. He's trotting off now, but played very well for the Volunteers.
Army rolls over Northwestern this afternoon, 23-7. Second down and goal for Auburn. Reggie Slack has gone the distance. 14 of 18 for 220 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And coming out in the Tiger offense, and again, Reggie Slack looks at the defense. If there's 4 players on the right side of the defense, that's where he'll run. If there are more than 4, he goes to the left.
Second goal at the Tennessee 6.
They come left. Flag is down. Love is down at the 1.
Good power play here again by Auburn. Terrific drive by the offensive line as they call holding against Auburn. But it's a fresh offensive unit. They're really getting off the ball, and that's what it takes. They're playing against a tired defensive front for Tennessee.
There's Bob Meeks, number 70, and Ed King. That's the future of the offensive line. That is Bob Meeks and Ed King right beside him.
You know, a sign of a good program like Auburn has is you have a nice mix of upperclassmen and lowerclassmen. That's what Auburn has throughout this whole team.
Well, Pat Dye said yesterday afternoon in his office, this team isn't yet but might become something really special. And they're under 4 minutes with a 31-6 lead right now. Second down and goal after the penalty. Love darts left. Oh, that'll bring the crowd up. Casey Rogers, 99, and Darrell Hardy, number 87, make the tackle.
Another highly recruited true freshman, Henry Love. Again, terrific power. Auburn always seems to get big power backs, guys who are 6'1", 6'2", 220 pounds that can really pound you, and they can also outrun you.
And Love is in that category. Third and goal. This time, no Tiger formation. They go from the regular set. Alex down at the 1. It'll be 4th and goal from the 1.
This is Southeastern Conference power football. Big old Alex Strong, all 222 pounds of him, just trying to find a little crease there in the defense.
That much for another TD. Mark Rose was leading the way. And it's 4th and goal from the 1. Auburn up with 2:45 to go by a 31-6 score. Alex Strong, touchdown. First TD of the year for the junior from Macon, and you saw the block from Ed King.
And Vern, this is an impressive Auburn football team. You talked about them perhaps becoming special. But when you have as strong a defense as they have, when you can throw the ball as well as they do and run some power football, that's a load to handle.
Win Lyle on for the extra point. Up and good.
Strong effort by the offensive line. Watch how they get off. They stay low. They create the crease there for Strong. He bounces off a couple of tacklers, and they're up 38-6.
Along with Pat Hayden. 3 fumbles in the third quarter. The story of the game. All 3 by Tennessee. All three recovered by Auburn. All three resulted in touchdowns. Anthony Morgan kicking off again, takes it at the receiving the kick at the 5. Got a chance out to the 41. Coming up tomorrow, the National Football League on CBS. We begin. Andy Kelly tosses it out left side. A flag is down. Keith Davis carries the ball. And John Wilson, number 72, makes the tackle. Final 2:19 of the first of the ball game. Holding Tennessee. Tracy Rocker came into this ball game with 2 tackles in 2 games. This afternoon, 14. Quentin Riggins, 13. Ron Stallworth, 9. Look at the Riggins total, Pat. He told us yesterday he had set a goal for the afternoon. He wanted 16 tackles in this game.
And again, he's a little man who plays very, very big. Tremendous heart in Quentin Riggins.
Said that he and Rocker have a bet. There's Quentin Riggins, number 41. He might not get a chance to add to his total. 5'11", 210-pound linebacker. And he's got 13 this afternoon. Rocker has the 14 you saw. First down 18 after the holding call. Andy Kelly never saw him fumble. Auburn ball, that's 4 in this half. Reggie Barlow makes the hit, number 89. And Lamar Rogers gets the recovery, number 91.
A lot of pressure here. Again, Barlow gets upfield 89 very quickly. The quarterback Kelly steps up inside, then Barlow comes from behind, and there's number 91 right there to Rogers to make the recovery. Again, there's always 2 or 3 defensive linemen around the quarterback, one causing the fumble, the other one there to make the recovery.
Frank McIntosh, 155-pounder, comes in at quarterback now, replacing Reggie Slack. Toss right. This is Teapot Brown, a freshman. I'm not kidding you. Teapot Brown. His real name is Charles, but he goes by the nickname Teapot. He's just one in a lengthy list of great names who have played for Auburn. How about you remember all these guys, Pat?
Oh, yeah. My Boots is my favorite.
Fliver Ford was mine. Osmo Smith and Smith Snyder, I remember them well.
What position do you think Wingley Giddens played?
Wide receiver. Rabbit Harris. That's the all-name team, and we put Teapot Brown right in the middle of it. Here's Teapot. Up the middle. I don't know. You know, James Bo Peep Joseph is going to have to go on this list, too. Here's Teapot. 5'8", 195 pounds. It'll be 3rd and 5. Teapot played well last week. He got a chance with Henry Love, the 2 freshmen, to play a lot in that romp over Kansas. Final minute of the game. Here's Henry Love. Preston Warren forces him out of bounds. Coming up tonight on CBS. We'll begin with First Impressions, followed by Frank's Place. That's followed by CBS Special Body Watching. And tonight on West 57th, the Space Shuttle is scheduled to launch on Thursday, but is it safe? Some shuttle engineers don't think so. John Ferrugia investigates tonight. All of that tonight on CBS. 49 seconds to go in the ball game. Teapot up the middle.
Right.
Sounds like the
Teapot
of a nursery rhyme.
You know, another one of the fun things in college football is also watching guys like Frank McIntosh, who's playing quarterback now for Auburn. He's a guy that really thought he was just going to be the scout team quarterback, but he's worked himself up, all 150 pounds of him, to be the backup quarterback for Auburn.
Frank McIntosh, the crowd, which is still here, says we want more.
And the coaches are signaling do not score. Pat Sullivan or Pat Dye are saying do not score.
So time will expire with Auburn on the 2. A big win for the Auburn Tigers. They had a tussle in the first half. And Pat Dye's 4th-ranked Tigers defeat Johnny Major's Volunteers. Tennessee 0-4 for the first time in 26 years. And Pat Dye's team goes to 3-0. And let's go down to Pat O'Brien.